Let's have a look at messaging in the Nokia X3 phone. You can get to messaging in two ways. You can either press menu here and then messaging and get all the options, all the functionality that messaging has to offer, or you can press the envelope down here where you'll only have shortcuts. One of them is to write a new message and the other one is for conversations. So here you'll see my conversations, and here you'll see how to write a new message. And it's pretty straightforward. I straight away get a big blank field that I can write in. I can see that I can get to symbols over here. I have further options down here, and then when I'm done I continue. Everything's created with the normal Nokia consistency, where I've got back over here, some kind of negative thing. I have some kind of positive action here, and I have more actions options over here. The only thing that makes me wonder here is this hash sign. As I understand it, it's a manner of being consistent with Nokia functionality in previous versions of this Series 40 interface, where the hash key, which is located here, just under my finger, will turn the prediction on and off if I double tap it, if I single tap it, and so on. So all of it is fairly straightforward. So I write a text here, and this is touch and type phone, which means that text entry will have to be done with the keyboard down here, but that's okay with me. So I'll write a message here. If I wish to go backwards and forwards, I can either press directly where I wish to go, and it'll highlight the word, or I can use these arrows here to go backwards and forwards. Since the predictive text input is active here, you'll see that I mark the word and not just one letter. But I can switch it off here if I want to, and then go into the word. So once I'm done with this, I'll press continue, and I'll be asked to add the recipient. Notice that there is a fine header for everything here. Here it says create your message. Here it says add recipient. If you should be in doubt about what to do here, you'll understand it by looking at the header. And I have a bunch of options here. And one of the things that I really like about this phone is this option for adding a favorite. Right now it's my wife here, so I'll just add her. So I'll get an overview of the text message. Who am I writing to? What's the message? And then I can just send it. I send it and I return to the main screen, because that's primarily where people want to go. They don't necessarily want to go back to messaging and have to backstep their way out of the message composer. I forgot to write a message that had symbols in it. Let's just do that. So if I need to find a question mark here, I'll just press the symbols over here, and it'll display the most used. I can walk backwards and forwards like this between these pages. And I would prefer, as I can do in the rest of the phone, to just be able to move the screen by dragging the interface, because that's what I do in the rest of the phone. So there's a little mark off for consistency there. So I select the question mark, and in order not to be too annoying, I'll put in a smiley, which is located right here. And I'll continue, and again I'll send it to my wife. So here we are. It's pretty straightforward to compose a message. There's not much I can do, but each of the items on the screen makes sense to me. There's not really any superfluous information on the screen. It's possible to discuss that it's not necessary to have the number up here telling how many characters you've used, but a text message is 160 characters, and it might just be that you don't want to write 161 characters or 162 characters, because then you'll have to pay for 2 text messages. So it's fairly obvious what I could do here. It's fairly simple to go backwards and forwards. It's fairly simple to understand what's going on. So this is very usable. Now if I receive a text message, it'll pop up on the screen here, and my lovely wife will tell me that yes, it's very annoying to get these text messages when I'm doing my videos. So this is my conversation view. It's similar to the view of conversations that you will see in iPhones or in in Gmail or almost all the places, so it's nice that Nokia has finally got it together and actually implemented this. I can, of course, scroll my conversation. I can open each message, and you'll see that the button here in the middle will change depending on if it's one of my messages or if it's a message from the other part of the conversation, where reply is the most relevant, and in case of my own one, Nokia has selected that forward would be most relevant. And I don't really disagree. I haven't really thought about what the most relevant thing to do with my own messages would be. It could be that I wanted to delete them. But I can do this straight under options. And now here is a nicely laid out list of things that I can do. Notice that I don't need to scroll it. There's no scroll bar. So here is the most important actions I can do with this message, and there are more actions down here. And if I go backwards, it simply follows the trail that I've been taking, my path in the interface. It's nice that I understand where I go when I go backwards and forwards and why I do it. I can also, if I wish so, in the message itself, long press it, and then I'll have the two most relevant functionalities selected from Nokia here. One of them is to delete it, and one of them is to archive it. I'll just delete it. And I'll get an extra question. Yeah, I will. And I'll get a confirmation that it's deleted. So again, notice that in this interface, there's very few superfluous components. I can see the time where this text message was either delivered or received. But notice that there's no such thing as a phone number or something. There's only a part of the name. And that's because it's a very little screen, and Nokia has decided wisely that I don't need to see the phone number for the conversation partner in every message. Thank you. Thank you for moving superfluous stuff from my view. I'm not sure if I agree with the idea of having the time here as more important than 2 lines of text or similar. I'm not sure if I agree that the time is very relevant to have here, but it doesn't take up too much space, and if I have a longer text message, I'll see 2 lines of it. And very often I won't be able to see all of the text message anyway. The default option in this list, if I'm just here with no messages highlighted, would be reply, which is a wise choice from Nokia to do, because what else would I do than reply in a conversation? Unless I go in on the text message itself and then want to do something else with it. So overall, the few functionalities that I've highlighted here, and the most important ones, and the ones that I use 99% of the time, which is writing a message, replying to a message, are very straightforward to do. So I think that the degree of usability is pretty high in this application.